Hello again. Welcome back. My name's Caty, and I will be teaching you today how to become the best scout you'll ever see. Ever be. I am the leading expert in snipering. I came from Call of Duty. I am a battlefield tourist. Now, I will tell you how to become the best sniper of all time. A key part of it is positioning. The typical scout usually goes where all the other scouts go. You don't want to be there. You want to be just off to somewhere else. But the one thing you don't want to be is a sniper camping a ship like that guy. Everyone hates those. They don't help the team. They're just poorly farming kills. And if you are a sniper going against these, make sure to take these out. It's annoying when you have when you're trying to defend here and you're getting sniped at. So if you are a sniper on the opposing side, make sure to take them out. They are a tad bit annoying. The key to long range sniping is knowing how much you want to be aiming up. So a good tactic to know how much you want to lead. Nice. How to tell how much you want to lead is shoot nearby and then use that as a reference point on how much you need to aim up. For example, let's use this post. I'm going to shoot directly, but I see it shoots down here. So, with that in mind, with the next shot, I want to be aiming up a little bit more. And there we go. Hit the top of the lamppost. Of course, when it comes to moving targets, you want to be going for where they're heading, not where they've been. It's easier to lead way too much, so I advised against it. And just only aim maybe a player's width, and if that misses, you can go from there. What I'm trying to say is don't overlead your shots, because I find that is common. The more further your target is, the more you do have to lead, but more than often than not, the enemies aren't that far away. Now, this is a personal preference on setting. I'm not going to go and give exact details, because I think it's far more important you find your own values, which work better for you. But I highly recommend lowering the ADS sensitivity. This will make precise shooting a bit more easier, and you can be more precise and accurate. How much you want to lower it by is your choice, but I think it's an important setting to change. Or not change, the choice is yours. Some tips for long range sniping. If you hold shoot, they will not cycle the bolt, so you can clearly see where that shot landed. If you want to cycle the bolt, just let go of it, and then they'll cycle. You can also do quite some heavy damage to planes, which will add up if your team is also shooting them. Because I just did 18, that's a fifth of their health. Cinema. Another one. Another one. It's like 3 planes. Timing is definitely important. It's better to wait for the perfect shot, but every shot you don't take is a miss. So it's getting a good balance of what will and what doesn't work. See, that proves one well-placed bullet is better than one bad misplaced bullet. If he got a headshot, I would have been dead, but because I got the headshot, he's dead. When it comes to long-range sniping, you can zero off your weapon. This makes it so at certain ranges, you can shoot directly without having to account for the bullet drop as much. Now, personally, I do not use this at all. It's mainly good if you're camping and taking out targets at quite some range consistently. However, I'll show you how to use it. However, if you incorrectly zero your rifle, bullets can go overhead and miss. To use zeroing, you can zero the rifle at 75 meters, which is default, 150 meters, and 300 meters. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how do I know how far away they are? Now, you can either use the periscope. This will tell you the exact meters away. But if you don't carry the periscope, there is another method. You may notice on this scope, there is lines along the left. Now they do mean something. They're not just there cosmetically, even though the middle one I couldn't work out. So the first set of lines, if you put the enemy's head to toe within the two lines, that is 150 meters. And for the last set of lines, if they fit between head to toe, that means it needs to be zeroed at 300 meters. I don't know what the middle one is for, just ignore it. Generally, I advise against using sweet spots and always try to aim for the head. The sweet spot mechanic in Battlefield 1 is a unique mechanic where bullets will do more damage between certain ranges. This varies between each gun, so within a specific range, for example, the Lobel, anywhere between 50 meters and 90 meters will be a one-hit kill to the body. Anything before or after will deal less damage. I think sweet spots just is a bad habit, although they can come in handy sometimes. That was a sweet spot kill. And another one. Always try to go for the headshot because it works well with a perk that I'll get onto, and that is Ripple. If you're under suppression, I advise just moving away. Trying to hit shots under suppression is really bad. Never works out. There is a lot of equipment that can be very useful for scouts or incredibly useless. So I'm going to run through some of them. The first one is the flare gun spot. The most easiest and one of the most powerful tools to have as a scout, even though I don't use it. And can be incredibly powerful for your entire team and can significantly help out planes, tanks, and your infantry. It is incredibly easy to use. You simply point in the direction of enemies and you shoot. It shoots a flare which will spot any targets or enemies within that radius to which the flare lands. As you can see, some people are spotted. Nice and easy, but often goes underutilized. One thing to note about the flare gun spot, if your enemy is using the perk Inconspicuous and they are meeting all the requirements for using Inconspicuous, they will not be spotted by the flare gun. Next up, the flare gun flash. The flare gun's flash just emits a very bright light that will blind your enemies and yourself and your team within close proximity to it. And, of course, it does deal damage, same as the spot flare. It will deal 15 damage on a direct hit. It will do 5 damage afterwards. The flare gun flash is best used in tight corridors and closed off areas, as they can just blind your enemies. It's not a very particularly useful gadget. It's just more annoying than anything else. The next and last spotting tool, we'll go on to that in a bit, is the periscope, which can also deal damage. The periscope is a very simple tool. You simply look through it and you spot enemies. However, if you do it with the periscope, they will be highlighted with red. So it's very easy and clear to tell where they are. In case anyone didn't notice, that's a dreadnought. The periscope is great for spotting vehicles, including horses. The periscope can also be used to view from cover, so you're safe, and then pull off a quick snipe. K-bullets can be used to take out enemy vehicles and deal damage to said vehicles. They'll also do increased damage to elites and horses. The scouts get 2 more gadgets which are pretty useless. You've got the sniper decoy and you've got the sniper shield. They really don't have much use. However, the sniper decoy can be placed in 3 positions: standing, crouched, and prone. When enemies shoot said targets, they will be spotted. The sniper shield is just a bit of metal you place down and gives enemy snipers the perfect headshot. The sniper decoys give off a sniper glint, so it appears as an enemy from far away. Snipers also get a range of trip mines. Simply place, and then they blow up.
I can see an enemy scout. We have taken
Very nice, gas mask kill. There are many different options you can pick for the snipers. However, all of them will give you a sniper glint, which is a massive shine off the scope, other than the Russian 1895 trench, infantry versions, and carbine versions, and the 1903 experimental. All the rest will give off a glint. So bear that in mind if you want to be a bit more stealthy or concealed. When the maps are less range, it may be better to pick the marksman versions rather than a sniper version. Marksman versions have less zoom. There are many different variants that the scout can use. First up is the infantry. That is just pure iron sights. You get a zoom of 1 to 2. Carbines are just optic sights with a shortened barrel and a little bit better hip fire. Marksmans get medium scope of 2.5 to 4 times. And of course, sniper gets the long range scope and a bipod of 5 to 10x. Patrol gets improved accuracy when moving. Experimental can fire a pistol cartridges. Silenced is silenced, but it's pretty much the sniper version. Sniper without the bipod, but with a long range scope. And of course, trench, which is just improved hip fire. Don't forget, your bayonet is an extremely lethal tool against taking out elites. The disadvantages for taking off your bayonet are really minimal and not worth it, considering it is a very powerful tool. When it comes to close quarters and you can quickly pull off a shot with your rifle and it hits, switch to your secondary to finish the job. 9 times out of 10 you'll get the kill with your secondary faster than your primary. If you do have the periscope, I highly advise always marking tanks, at least. That's why it's important to spot vehicles, as anyone who gets out of said vehicle will also get the periscope spot. Also, a little tip, if you get a headshot, you'll be rewarded a marksman bonus, and that will be some points. The amount of points means how far away that headshot was. For example, that one was 55, so that's 55 meters away. The further away it is, the more points you get. Bear in mind, depending on the skin that you do use for said guns, especially the infantry version and the trench or experimental, the iron sight versions, the skin will change the way the iron sight looks. So bear that in mind. For example, this is the Buckingham Mark 1 skin, which is a very nice white skin, versus the default. The default sights are a lot darker. So, bear that in mind when picking a skin. Like all the other roles, the scouts get 3 exclusive perks. One being Scapegoat. A decoy is automatically deployed when struck below 45 health by a distant enemy. 30-second cooldown. Now that is a lot of requirements for a very useless gadget. I do not recommend this perk at all. Perimeter alarm. Enemies within 10 meters of your triggered trip mines are spotted. This can be very good because you can trigger the trip mines yourself. So it's a spotting flare and a mine at the same time. So I do recommend this one. And of course, Ripple. After headshotting an enemy with your single action rifle, which is any of your primary guns, the next enemy you spot will be highlighted. Same way the periscope highlights. The scouts also get 3 exclusive pistol or sidearms, one being the Mars automatic, which is the highest capacity option in the entire game, and it has one of the fastest bullet velocities, so it's quite good for range. Within reason, the damage drop off is quite heavy. The Bayonet, which is a revolver, which is really powerful up close. However, it is a very slow and long reload. And then last but not least, the From a Stop. Although weaker than the other two, it has a quicker draw speed and reload speed. So this is quite a good one for finishing off already damaged targets. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and subscribe. This is all I've got time for today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see ya.